We're going to talk about the Chicago immigration issue, and Scott Jennings literally is the GOAT when it comes to this stuff. Let's go to the Fox News update first, and then we're going to go to Scott Jennings just cooking about this immigration issue in Chicago. Roll the clip.
It's not just the National Guard. Multiple sources telling Fox News that ICE agents are set to move into Chicago for an immigration crackdown. Now, that city's Democratic leaders are expected to resist, but many locals, like our next guest, say is a long time coming. Bashan Tunsil will join us in a moment, talk about the residents' sentiments in a moment there in Chicago. But first, to senior correspondent Mike Tobin, who's got a beat on this every day in Chicago. Mike.
And, Bill, we know that some federal staff is already at the Great Lakes Naval Base north of Chicago, and Illinois Senators Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin are demanding that the Secretary of the Navy provide them with some information for how that base is going to be used. And then a meeting of North suburban leaders was told that some 300 federal agents are expected in Chicagoland. Now, the mayor of Broadview, a suburb to the west of Chicago, issued a letter stating that a building there will be used as primary processing facility for operations, which could last for 45 days, and law enforcement should be ready for protests, even destruction of property. Tom Homan, border czar under President Trump, argues that sanctuary policies pushed by Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker forced them to zero in on places like Chicago.
We're going to flood the zone. Sanctuary cities, I've said it 1,000 times, they're going to get exactly what they don't want: more agents in the communities and more worksite enforcement. Because they won't let us arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a county jail, so more collateral arrests are going to occur in sanctuary cities because you forced us into the community.
Chicago saw over 51,000 migrants arrive since the summer of 2022. The watchdog group Illinois Public Policy estimates the state will spend over $2.5 billion on migrants by the end of 2025. Chicago Alderman Raymond Lopez, a Democrat, says Illinois leaders with sentiments for the migrant community are not sincere.
If we had addressed this by amending the welcoming city ordinance several months ago, we would not be in this position today, in my opinion. If we had shown a willingness to work with Donald Trump, Tom Homan, and Kristi Noem to say, look, we know you know where the high priority targets are. Let us help you when we arrest them. We'll let you know. I think we'd be in a very different spot than where we find ourselves today.
Now, September is a month when Mexican Independence Day is recognized with a series of parades through Hispanic areas. Now, the town of Waukegan has postponed their parade, but the Pilsen neighborhood to the south of where I am is continuing with their parade. However, they've got spotters in the crowd who will be equipped with cell phones, radios, even whistles to alert people of any developments. Bill?
Yeah, good. Alert the ICE while you're at it. Yeah, they right there. Get them right there. Look, I don't feel bad for you going to jail over this stuff or leaving our country. It is what it is, man. Shouldn't have came here illegally. Ask the person who came here illegally how they feel about you leaving. Hey, y'all, hold on real quick. I got to tell you this. I bet you $1 million y'all didn't know this. Only 3 mobile providers on all of the cell phone towers in America. When you work with Patriot Mobile, you can pick one of the providers that work best for you. And that's the uniqueness of Patriot Mobile. Switch to the only Christian conservative provider today. All you got to do is go to patriotmobile.com/Tatum or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service with promo code Tatum. Let's go to Scott Jennings, because Scott Jennings was, again, on CNN, insufferable news. Roll the clip.
Well, he's threatening Chicago with 2 things. One, a surge of federal resources, so ICE, CPB, other federal agents. So that's bucket number 1. Bucket number 2 would be the National Guard. I still think, regardless of what happens in the courts on the National Guard, they're going to be surging other federal resources into Chicago, specifically to deal with the illegal immigration problem. So don't know how the court case is going to play out. Obviously, the Ninth Circuit has overruled this district court judge before. But I talked to the president today. He had a press conference in the Oval, and I'm just telling you, he is intent on doing anything and everything he can to get into the city of Chicago.
And the crime rates are plummeting in Washington, D.C.
I
the mayor
understand
of
that.
D.C. is thanking the
But
president.
just to be clear, the National Guard is not doing any of that. The National Guard is not doing any of that. The people doing that are other law enforcement agencies like ICE and Border Patrol.
I'll tell you one thing they're doing.
And
I walked
ATF
around,
and others.
I'll tell you one thing they're doing. I walked around Washington, D.C. all weekend long with my family. I had my entire family there. And we did run into the National Guard. And I'm just going to tell you, having these guys walking around, keeping an eye on things, they were greeting the public. I saw a lot of people walking up to them, thanking them for keeping an eye on Washington, D.C. I think there's something to be said for just having more eyes and ears on the streets. People are less likely to commit crimes in front of 4 or 5 National Guardsmen.
Their visibility is a deterrent, but what happens once you pull them back, right? That doesn't really solve the root of the problem.
Well, it's a good question. And today, Mayor Bowser actually signed an executive order inviting an ongoing federal presence in Washington, D.C., and didn't put an end date on it. I mean, just as Ben said, she has acknowledged that this has worked. Crime has gone down. People are being arrested. Illegal guns are coming off the streets. And there is apparently some cooperation between a Democrat and a Republican administration, which you're not getting a scintilla of out of Illinois, which I think is a political mistake.
Who disagrees with that? I don't think anybody does. These people could coordinate, but it's political. Donald Trump, what do you need? If I was even if Biden did it, I'm like, okay, it is illegal. They're going to do it. Hey, man, let's get on the phone. What do you guys need? How can we help facilitate it? They literally say, we're not helping them at all. We're not going to help them do anything when it comes to illegal. What do you mean? It's the federal government. It's against the law federally. And let me tell y'all the biggest thing, and I wish I'd have said this at the beginning of the show because people need to hear this. I honestly think that we're going to see such a major landslide victory for Republicans in the midterms and in the next election in 2028. Why do you say that, Mr. Tatum? Because when they're going to be putting ICE agents near polling places, and that will deter illegal aliens from voting in the elections in America. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
You send the U.S. Marines into spaces they should not be. You send the National Guard in. You kidnap people off of the streets and pretend that's normal, because that's how you quiet dissent, because you make everyone afraid that if they don't do what you want, they might be next. And once you've done those 9 steps, step 10 is easy. That's when you decide there won't be new elections, because everyone's either afraid, poor, broken, or complicit.
This is a part of his plan to do something really nefarious, which is to interfere with elections in 2026. He wants to have troops on the ground to stop people from voting, to intimidate people from going to the voting booth. So take note. That is what this is all about.
We're going to see such a drastic number of illegal aliens not even participating in the first place. And then when they are out there during election time, they really ain't going to show up. And then you're going to really see the effect of how many illegal aliens and people who shouldn't be voting have voted in our elections. This is why they want it to be sanctuary cities. This is why California want to be a sanctuary state. This is why Chicago want to be a sanctuary city. Because then they can influx all of these people, get more electoral college votes, and get more Senate seats. Congressional seats. Not congressional seats, it'd be House representative seats. Congress is the entire body. But House seats and more federal funding because of the population. And then when one of the Democrat presidents activate these people as citizens, now they got an influx of actual citizens in their city. They can control elections forever. They try to do this in all these left states in a coordinated effort. I'm telling you, that's what they did.